You reread the message one more time. It's polite, it's fine, but there's no exclamation mark, no emoji, nothing warm, and suddenly you're wondering what you did wrong. You don't even like this person that much, you barely know them. So why does their silence feel like a verdict? It shows up everywhere, in small and large ways. A comment gets fewer likes than the one you posted last week, and some part of you quietly recalculates your worth. A coworker walks past without saying good morning, and your mind spends the next hour writing a story about what that meant. A relative gives faint praise instead of real enthusiasm, and you feel the air go out of the room a little. None of these people asked to be your judge. Most of them will forget the interaction within minutes. And yet, somewhere inside, a part of you is still standing there waiting for their approval, like it's the only thing that can tell you whether you're doing all right. This isn't vanity, it isn't weakness either. It turns out there's a reason we do this, and once you see the mechanism behind it, it starts to look less like a personal flaw and more like an old survival instinct that never got the memo that the danger passed. Psychologists have a name for part of what's happening here, sociometer theory. The idea, developed by researcher Mark Leary, suggests that self-esteem isn't just an internal measure of how we feel about ourselves. It functions more like a gauge, constantly and often unconsciously tracking how accepted or rejected we are by the people around us. In other words, self-esteem isn't just a mirror. It's more like a smoke detector for social exclusion. When it senses distance, a cold reply, a missed invitation, a lukewarm reaction, it sounds an alarm. And that alarm feels exactly like insecurity, exactly like not being enough. There's a second piece to this, rooted much earlier in life. Attachment theory, first developed by researchers like John Bowlby, describes how our earliest relationships, usually with caregivers, teach us what to expect from connection. If love and attention felt inconsistent or conditional in those early years, many people grow into adults who unconsciously believe approval has to be earned, moment by moment, from everyone, indefinitely. And then there's a simpler, almost mathematical reason this feels so heavy: negativity bias. Research consistently shows that negative or neutral signals weigh more heavily on us than positive ones. 9 warm interactions can happen in a day, and it's the 10th, slightly cooler one that keeps replaying in your mind at 11 p.m. None of this means something is wrong with you. It means your nervous system is doing exactly what it evolved to do: treat social approval as if it were survival. The problem is simply that the stakes today are almost never what they once were. Centuries before psychologists had a name for any of this, philosophers were already circling the same truth. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who had been born into slavery and later became one of the most influential teachers of his time, built much of his philosophy around a single, sharp distinction. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. Our own choices, effort, and character, those are ours. Other people's opinions, moods, and reactions, those never were, no matter how much it might feel otherwise. Epictetus would likely say that chasing the approval of someone who doesn't care is a kind of category error, reaching for something that was never in your hands to begin with, and then feeling like a failure for not holding it. Centuries later, Nietzsche pushed this even further with his critique of what he called herd morality, the tendency for people to adopt values simply because they are the values of the group. rather than examining and choosing values for themselves. For Nietzsche, a person who constantly needs external agreement to feel secure in who they are has, in a sense, outsourced their own sense of self to the crowd. Put together, these two ideas offer something practical, not just poetic. The discomfort you feel isn't proof that something is wrong with you. It may simply be the oldest tension in human life, the pull between who you are and what the room seems to expect of you. Here's where the psychology and the philosophy meet. Your nervous system is wired to treat social approval like a survival signal. That part isn't going away, and trying to force it into silence usually backfires. But you do have a choice in where you point that instinct. The Stoics would say, stop trying to control what was never yours and someone else's opinion, and instead put your attention back on what is yours, your own actions, your own values, your own sense of what a good day looks like. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent to everyone around you. Connection still matters. Other people's feedback can still be useful information. The shift is subtler than that. It's the difference between asking, what do they think of me? A question with no stable answer, because it depends on someone else's ever-changing mood, and asking, did I act in line with who I want to be? A question only you can actually answer. That second question won't stop the reflex entirely. You'll probably still notice the cold reply, the lukewarm reaction, the silence where you expected warmth. But you'll have somewhere steadier to stand while you notice it. So the next time you catch yourself waiting for someone's reaction, before you can feel okay about something you did, ask yourself this. Is this person's opinion actually yours to control? Or have you been standing at a door that was never going to open, waiting for someone who has already walked away? I'd like to know whose approval have you been quietly chasing, even though some part of you already knows it isn't really theirs to give.